CRTC hearing. We are now open for session. The next presentation is from the BC-VRS committee. Some representatives are from Vancouver. Please introduce yourselves, and you have 20 minutes for your presentation. Thank you. Hello, I'm Lisa Kellett Anderson, Communication Officer. I'd like to introduce Ava Hawkins and Nigel Howard, who are with me. In the Vancouver office, we have Jody Burley, who is in charge of video project coordinators. Ava Hawkins to my left, who is our liaison to TELUS. We have Nigel Howard on the right, who is the liaison to the CRTC. David McDonald, who is in the Vancouver office, our treasurer. Susan Masters, who is our letter writing committee in Vancouver. Kimberly Wood, who is the liaison to the Canadian Association of the Deaf. I will give you a brief background of who we are. The British Columbia Video Relay Services Committee was established in 2008 by Wayne Sinclair, Monty Hardy, Cecilia Clausen, a mother of a deaf child, Susan Masters, Cecilia Clausen, the mother of a deaf child, Susan Masters, who is in Vancouver, and Ava Hawkins to the left of me. All five submitted their interventions to this proceedings of the Notice of Consultation from 2013 to 155. BC-VRS is a grassroots, wholly volunteer-based committee that consists of deaf people and their hearing allies. This committee then convened a series of town hall meetings to get feedback and to be endorsed to communicate with the CRTC that VRS services were a vital subject needed in our community. This later evolved into liaison with various organizations to ensure accurate representation. The BC-VRS committee is a community group who has diligently worked together to gather and relay the views of our deaf community. BC-VRS came together for the purposes of advocating for the best video relay services possible in British Columbia, collecting the views regarding VRS, IP relay, the VRS trial from the deaf community, as well as representing the BC deaf community's views to the CRTC and telecom providers, disseminating information to the deaf community regarding video relay services and CRTC or telecommunication updates. As an information hub, the BC-VRS has managed its own website, bcvrs.ca, in American Sign Language and English. We have tweeted over 1,000 messages this week and managed messages within 13 VRS-related face groups, including letters and petitions and comments indicating a desire for VRS services in Canada. We wanted to show people that we had a desire to have VRS in Canada. BC-VRS has successfully hosted 2 nationwide rallies attended by 650 to 1,324 supporters all over Canada, both in January and September of 2013. Our group is very unique in the sense that we participated in the TELUS trials with Sorensen VRS. I'd like to now turn it over to Ava Hawkins. There are 4 points that we'd like to illustrate in our position. Number 1, the provision of video relay services. The provision of video relay services in American Sign Language and Lengua de Signes Québécois, LSQ, by all telecommunication providers. Number 2, the choice of using any accessible VRS communication technology which are currently available. So for example, if deaf persons wanted to use an iPad or a mobile phone or a home-based computer or an internet-based computer, that they would not have to be out of their own home, but that they could access it anywhere. And that we wanted to ensure there was interoperability with any type of equipment or services that they were using for support. Our third point is that our consumers have the ability to choose in the marketplace a variety of VRS products and services. The reason for this is that people that are not deaf have an opportunity to pick any type of mobile phone that you want to do. The deaf community wants to be on par and have the same choices as you. As consumers, you have the right to pick any internet provider. We would like to do that too. In our experience with the VRS trials, we did not have a right of choice to our internet provider. Many of our members had to withdraw from their internet provider and join the internet provider who was doing the trials. Number 4, mandatory involvement and opportunities for employment for deaf persons in the consultation, the governance, as well involved in the implementation and operations of the Canadian VRS industry. Through our experience with the trials, you need to have deaf people involved from the beginning, not from certain steps throughout the procedure, but from the beginning throughout the service. Competition is very healthy, and it's important to be able to have that. In addition, it helps maintain quality standards. In our local representation, they wanted to have the CRTC to mandate that there needs to be deaf people employed within the VRS industry, whether they are deaf, hard of hearing, or deaf-blind users, when the service is offered across Canada. For deaf, hard of hearing citizens across Canada, we want to have equal access. We want to make sure that deaf citizens will continue to be partners in the economy, that they will be able to work across Canada. Information needs to be transparent in conjunction with communication so that they can feel that they are a participant in society. With technological advances, deaf people seem to be still lagging far behind and not have the ability or the opportunity to be able to be within Canadian society. So when we look within the fabric of the Canadian, when we look in the fabric of the Canadian standards, we find that many deaf communities are missing because they don't have that opportunity to advance. There's also employment opportunities available, job advancement available. Complex information is relayed more efficiently. When we evaluated the 18-month VRS trials, we found that members of our community were able to be promoted because they had skills that were overlooked because they didn't have the use of an interpreter to be able to communicate with them through VRS. We also heard that complex information is relayed more efficiently, and employers could recognize their skills and their knowledge. I'm going to give you one example. We had one employee who was working at a large bank. And during the VRS trials, that individual was able to be promoted. Their expertise, their contacts, they were able to run various website meetings. They could facilitate teleconference calls. They were very responsible for the job. When the trials were ended, that person was then demoted. Another deaf person said through video relay services that they could explain, again, complex information. For example, such as a plumber. The interpreter would be able to relay the information to ensure that things could flow quite readily and easily, and communication was clearly conveyed. Another incident in northern Canada, a young teenager on a Friday night wanted to go out and have fun. And we all know when we were teenagers. Well, that individual, yeah, it was a long time ago, wasn't it? Yes, yes, exactly. Yes. So that teenage, whether boy or girl, had a chance to be with their high school peers who happened to be all hearing. And most of the time, as a deaf person, they had to ask the hearing person to order pizza. And hearing person thought, okay, that means I have to do things for you and you have to become dependent on me. But throughout the VRS trials, the deaf teenager was saying, would you like to have pizza? Do you want to have pop? And they were able to order it. Their friend was surprised that they could be independent. So their view of deaf people became more positive. And as a deaf person being able to make their own call, they were much more independent. So when we look at the social and economic benefits of video relay services, without VRS services, many deaf citizens will continue to miss that opportunity, to be partners in the economy. Deaf people having the opportunity to be an employee will produce more barriers. When an employer sees their curriculum vitae and find out they're deaf, they tend to ask the question, how do you use the phone? How do you make phone calls? And they say, well, texting? So the image that's portrayed with our employment of everyday life is based on communication. Establishing video relay services ensures clear transparency and communication. So when we look at society, we want to provide enhanced opportunities that give them a better quality of life for all deaf, hard of hearing, and deaf-blind individuals. These are real people with real life situations. So when video relay services are attached, deaf citizens can feel connected to the Canadian society. As Lisa mentioned, we're a grassroots organization. With VRS, we feel part of Canada. But when we have no VRS, we are invisible. We need to have the camera moved. Hi there. Okay, great. Now we've got the video on Lisa. So why choose video relay services? I could tell you that it improves the quality of communication. I could tell you it was the language used by deaf people. I could say that deaf immigrants, when they arrive to Canada and have an opportunity to learn a visual language. Or I could tell you that VRS interpreters are in real time. But I would rather show you. Could you please show the DVD? Say yes to VRS services in Canada.